Judge, County Commissioners, citizens of Glen Rose. I'm not as eloquent as a speaker as Dr. Paul is, but I will certainly do my best. My name is Robert Brake. I'm a retired business owner from Burleson, Texas. I owned the business in Alvarado for 23 years, retired in 1999. And I opened Brake Family Cares Realty, my family, and Brake Family Cares Investments. There's two investments I have in my life currently. One is investment for profit, and two is investment for making a difference. I do a lot of motivational speaking, and I'm a pastor, a youth pastor at my church, and I teach our youth that making a difference is what life is about. We get a lot of opportunity to make money. Making a difference only comes every now and again. I've had an opportunity to visit with Judge Chambers shortly. This fell in my lap about 4 days ago, and I've lost a lot of sleep in the last 4 days. And my wife told me last night while we were visiting, she said, "Hey, Facebook, there's a big uproar about the promise in Glen Rose." I said, "We can't have that." I said, "My whole point, even having any interest in the promise, was it's a place that makes a difference. For 2 million visiting guests, I think is important. There's not too many other places you can go. You can say that 2 million people visited. I think you had to include Six Flags and some of this other nonsense. So I think it's important to keep the promise. And it was even more important this morning when I walked in and seen a 4-year-old young lady. I think I overheard she was a shepherd in the promise. To Mr. Ball, Dr. Ball is 87 years old, and young kids wearing the promise hats. So I think our future relies on the promise. In the same token, as a business owner, I'd like to tell you, profit is not a bad word. Everything's got to have a profit. You have to reinvest money back into any business you have, whether it be the promise or an RV dealership or just about anything. And when there's a lack of reinvestment, then you start to get this disgruntled outlook on what's really happening in a business, or in this case with the county. You're going to start costing people money out of their own pockets. People have a tendency to look and say, "Why is it costing me money? I'm not happy about it no more." So my vision for the promise, and why I'm standing here before you today, is to let the county and the citizens and the promise themselves know I have some interest in maybe partnering even with the promise and keeping the promise alive. I do have a different vision. I believe as a business owner, we can go out there and we can do some things that draw more attention and bring more people to Glen Rose, which also benefits the county, bringing tax dollars in, tax revenue in, hotel tax fund. Other 2 million people coming across here, that's a huge amount of money for the county and a huge tax incentive for the county. So I think with proper guidance and a strong relationship, you can bridge, I was told not compromise, but bridge the gap between the county and the promise. So my vision would be to keep the promise open during its time when it needs, and then bringing in healthy, family-orientated entertainment to that area. You know, a weekend men's spiritual retreat. They just did one at AT&T Stadium. I thought it was phenomenal. That's certainly not AT&T Stadium, but it's a good opportunity to bring a men's spiritual retreat, a ladies' spiritual retreat, a youth camp retreat. There's huge opportunities that bring revenue in, along with some healthy concerts out there, which I understand have been done in the past. I walked around out there the other day. In my humblest opinion, it doesn't look like a whole lot has been reinvested over time there. And that's not taking away from the citizens or the promise, but things have to be updated as time moves on to draw more people out there. So I think with a creative business mind, and there's several of those in this room, I understand, creative business mind and the partnership and the bridge of the promise, I would like to let the promise know I have some serious interest in partnering with you and investing in the promise. If we can figure that out, what that relationship looks like, along with bringing some healthy entertainment out there, I think that's doable. I'd like to work with the county. I'd like to work with the promise in over the next few days, see if we can't bridge that gap, figuring out what that looks like, so the county can also be profitable, and you can also take advantage of the tax revenue and the hotel tax that's going to come in, but yet keeping what looks like the citizens of Glen Rose need here, and quite frankly, most of our world needs anymore, is more spiritual guidance in our life. So again, my name is Robert Brake. I'll leave my contact information with the county Judge Chambers. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am highly interested in keeping the promise along with making a profitable venue out there. Thank you again. I appreciate the opportunity and the time. Thank you.
On the spot.
I appreciate you, Judge. Thank you.
Are you going to try to put together something that the court can look at here in the next few weeks, few months? Because, you know, I told John Stickland, and I forget your name.
Gray.
Lesson Gray.
Yeah.
that, you know, we would do everything we could to get them through, you know, the November to December, shows.
Sure.
This year, no matter who or whatever happened. So are you looking, in this wrong, put you on the spot, are you looking like maybe a few weeks, a month or two, that you may come back with something, maybe you and Dr. Ball, you and Jonathan Stickland, Ray, y'all discuss items and together somehow come up with an idea?
Absolutely. I'd like to, if I can work with Dr. Ball and promise in the next 10 days, if they have any interest of partnering with me, that's going to be up to
Okay.
them, obviously. If not, I'll have a proposal for myself within the next 10 days to present.
Okay, and as you well know, Bill Vineyard is, Flex Realtor is the realtor of record. So
Okay.
everything, you know, goes through him, so everybody has a fair chance, so we're not doing anything, you know, off the table.
Absolutely.
So that'll be great. And now you know Dr. Ball, you know Mr. Gray, and Jonathan Stickland's not with us here today, but I sent Dr. Ball his information, his contact information, where everybody may be all over the next 10 days, whatever, we get together and discuss items and see what you can put together. Because everyone knows, you know, within 72 hours, we can bring the court back together. Bill can present us with anything that y'all came up with to present, and then we can go from there. I know the court wants to do what's in the best interest for taxpayers in Somervell County. I already know that.
Absolutely.
But,
Judge, and I'll have that something to you in the next 10 days, and just show my level of commitment. I'm willing to match his $50,000 as of right now. I'll match his $50,000 just to let the court know my level of commitment with partnering with the promise, if we can work something out.
Perfect. Mr. Gray, did you have anything you want to say about your current? You bet, go ahead.